If the worst were to happen, it's game over. It's very difficult to try to understand what one could do. Basically, you'd just see a slow motion disaster. These are six reactors that are different in design to Chernobyl. Chernobyl is a graphite moderated reactor. Basically, a graphite is what you get on the inside of a pencil. So you can imagine when that blows, if that sort of, and these were used as ways to moderate the reactor. When Chernobyl blew, the graphite spread very, very easily into the atmosphere. Also, the Chernobyl reactor was an old Russian design. These Zaporizhzhia reactors are a newer design. They're also subject to post-Fukushima stress test upgrades, so they are better protected. They have greater defense in depth. That said, there's no defense against military attack for a nuclear power plant. And the key issue here, most commentators say, are the high-level radiation spent fuel ponds, which have a very significant radiological inventory. So worst case, probably wouldn't see a Chernobyl. More like a worst case, more like a Fukushima. The problem with that is that the Fukushima dispersion went out mainly into the Pacific. I remember having supper with Naoto Kan, the Prime Minister of Japan at the time of Fukushima, after we spoke at the UK Parliament, and was sort of shocked when he turned to me and said that if the wind was in the wrong direction, we would have lost Tokyo. The problem with Zaporizhzhia is that it's essentially landlocked. So if it did blow, the hydrogen explosions then affected the cooling, and the managing of the cooling became uncontrollable because of the radiation pollution. Then one would see in a matter of days a full meltdown. Now we're talking about 6 reactors, the largest nuclear power plant in Europe. So if the worst were to happen, it's game over. Breach of spent fuel, the cooling ponds, breach of core containment structure. You'll see a significant radiation pollution event in which you can't operate militarily. The community would be in panic. Basically, it's a nightmare scenario about both the radiological impact at the same time as a military shooting match. I don't think that you can really get a worse situation than that. These are worst case scenarios. Let's hope and touch wood that nothing happens. But luck is not a strategy in the context of nuclear radiation protection. And we must learn these lessons for current and any future design. The problem is, of course, you cannot design out a malicious attack for a nuclear power plant. It just simply can't happen.